Peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you, and may prayers and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad and all his family and companions. Of course, brothers, today we have a very, very important topic for people who use UV printers. Specifically, I will talk about UV inks, okay? Why? Because many people have made mistakes with UV inks. Of course, they did not get the appropriate inks for the materials they were going to print on with the printer, so they encountered many problems and did not pay attention to them. Of course, many people know about this topic that I am going to talk about, and maybe many people do not know about it because why? I think some people have encountered it, which means they do not know about this topic. So, God willing, I will explain to you the specifications of this ink, how it is categorized, and how you will deal with it in the future with the permission of Allah Almighty. Of course, brothers, this UV ink is divided into two types, right? It is divided into two types. There are no other categories. UV ink comes in two types. The first type is called soft UV ink, right? And the second type is called hard UV ink. We will talk about these inks, and of course each ink is divided into 5 points that we will discuss with the permission of Allah Almighty. All right, we will talk about the ink that is the soft type. First, we will discuss its flexibility. The soft ink, brothers, after it dries under ultraviolet light, remains somewhat flexible like rubber. If you feel it, meaning if you print it on a material that might move or bend in a very slight way, the ink adapts to the movement of the material, and it does not crack or break quickly. This is the soft ink. All right? Of course, it feels comfortable to the touch, meaning it feels nice when you touch it, okay? Why? Because it is not hard and is suitable for prints that need to be moved or folded, like foldable stickers or fabrics, or let's say phone covers, especially the plastic ones, you know, all right? The second point is about its treatment. This ink dries quickly using ultraviolet things. You know that when we apply it, there is a light, which is ultraviolet, but there are special materials that keep it flexible and maintain its properties, meaning after printing, after treatment, okay? Let's talk about the third point, which is its applications. The soft UV ink, my brothers, is used in printing that requires flexibility, as we mentioned, like flexible packaging labels and some types of fabrics, some types of leather, some types of plastics that are foldable. So any material that needs folding or is exposed to movement, the soft UV ink is the best. The best thing for it is the soft ink. We are going to talk about the fourth point, which is the final touch. Its gloss is light, my brothers. It might be slightly non-glossy due to its flexibility. It doesn't have a strong shine, or let's say light. Strong, or when we talk about anything that reflects on it, it won't be strong like what you feel. Its shine is light or matte, like close to matte, like hard ink because its design makes it stay a bit soft. It won't be strong. All right, let's talk about its durability. Of course, UV ink is smooth. UV ink is smooth. This ink is not as durable as hard ink. I mean, if it is exposed to scratches or friction or, let's say, a strong hit, it might fade over time. I mean, it might gradually disappear over time. It's not suitable for prints on materials that are exposed to a lot of friction, like solid ones, for example, or sunlight or other natural factors. It's not suitable for them. This is regarding the UV smooth inks. Now, let's talk about the second type, which is the hard UV ink. Let's discuss its hardness in general. As we mentioned, we will talk about 5 points. The first point is the hardness of the hard UV ink. Once it dries under ultraviolet light, it becomes very hard and strong. The surface becomes almost glass-like, which you know is almost glass-like, similar to the varnish applied on it or the plastic that is on top. We call it plastic or varnish. If you touch it, you feel that it is smooth and very hard. This ink gives a strong impression, meaning you feel that it is truly strong and ideal for prints that require strength and hardness. All right? The second point is that its processing is exactly like the soft ink. There is no difference. Like the soft UV ink, this ink dries under ultraviolet light in the same way. But the difference is that the hard ink contains materials that make it fully hardened, so it becomes very hard once it dries. All right? The third point we will talk about is that hard UV ink is stronger and is used for printing on hard materials like plastic, glass, metal, thick cardboard, and iron. in general, all metals, as we mentioned, acrylic, and so on. For example, for printing on items that require durability or strength, like promotional tools, advertising boards, screens, and so on. All right, let's talk about the fourth point, its tactile feel. After this ink dries, it gives a very shiny or glossy appearance. Once a layer of varnish is applied, it has a good shine, meaning it makes it sparkle and reflect light very strongly. This, of course, is regarding the hard UV ink. Let's talk about its durability. The fifth point is the durability of hard UV ink, which is most suitable for prints that require durability. This ink is very resistant to scratches, abrasion, and friction if you print it on any material. The print is stable and lasts for a long time, even if exposed to harsh conditions like the sun and other elements, as I mentioned to you, which are the external natural factors, right? Of course, the most suitable thing for these matters is the UV-resistant ink. So brothers, in summary, to give you the final conclusion between soft ink and hard ink, soft ink is suitable for materials that move or fold, like stickers, fabrics, or leathers, and so on. Hard ink is excellent for printing on hard surfaces like plastic, glass, metal, acrylic, and so on. If someone asks me how to distinguish between the inks, the container, whether this ink is soft or hard, well, brothers, companies that care about their product. In China in general, those interested in their product must provide all the information properly or stick it on the label of the container. There are companies that don't care about this and just want to market the ink as suitable for both types. Of course, this is a big mistake we might fall into. So these inks, we call them second or third grade inks. These inks are, of course, cheap in terms of price, but they have no quality at all. When you print with them, they look good initially, but after a while, they become very bad. So a company that cares about its product or respects its product will have the sticker and all the complete information on the sticker. Of course, we look at the box or the sticker on the box. If the box contains soft ink, you will find the word soft or flexible written on it. It will have soft or flexible, indicating the type of ink, meaning it is flexible. If the box contains hard UV ink, it will have the word hard or rigid written on it, my friends. Or rigid hard, or rigid. All right? These two words are written on the box. Of course, my friends, as I told you, this is if the company is reputable and wants to provide full information about its inks. So of course, this ink is not cheap. It is more expensive than other types of inks, and it is of very high quality. And this, of course, that's it for the talk about types of ink, my friends. Now you know how to differentiate between this ink and that ink. Thank you, my friends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, like the video, and don't forget us in your good prayers. Share the channel with as many people as possible. We ask God that everyone benefits, and thank you. See you in another episode. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you.